Hello, I'm Disney Obsessed, and today I'm making a video about trip planning for Disneyland Paris. I'm going at the end of next month, so I thought I'd make a video about my booking process, my preparation, and basically what I'm going to be doing while I'm there, so I hope you enjoy. For my booking process, I went through the Disneyland Paris website itself, and I'm staying 6 nights at the Sequoia Lodge. And I booked when they were offering an early bird special, where if you booked several months ahead of time, you got 2 nights with the park tickets for those days free, so I definitely got a great deal. I'm pretty pumped to be staying at Sequoia Lodge. It was definitely my first choice. It has that woodsy cabin feel, which definitely reminds me of the Wilderness Lodge back in Walt Disney World, so I'm really excited to experience this hotel. Along with the package that I booked through the Disneyland Paris website, I did choose the Magical Shuttle option, which is from the CDG airport to the Disneyland hotel that I'm staying at, the Sequoia Lodge, and that was $27 US each way. I also chose the add-on for Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, which is an hour-and-a-half dinner show they offer in the Disney Village. If you choose it as an add-on while you're booking, you do save 10%. If you don't choose this add-on, you can only buy your tickets up to 60 days in advance, so I definitely recommend choosing it as an add-on, as you save some time, you guarantee your seat, and you save 10%. In terms of preparing for my trip to Disneyland Paris, I did buy a couple items that are pretty much must-dos at this point. The first one is a universal charger, so I grabbed this one off of Amazon for $25, and it looks like this. It is a little chunky, I will admit. But it has all the ones you would ever need for traveling international. So you can charge by USB, or you can charge by your country's original plug. And it has options for all the countries basically you would ever need a different plug for. So in this instance, for the European one, you just flip the switch and you get the plug-in you need. Now I did see on another note that the updated rooms for the Santa Fe hotel at Disneyland Paris, that they do have USB plugs in the wall now, but I definitely don't want to chance it as I'm not even staying at that hotel, so a universal charger is definitely needed at this point. We all know the pain of our phone dying midpoint of the day during our vacation, which is awful because then you need to take time out of your day to go charge your phone. So the next item I recommend is an external charger. I picked this one up from Walmart for about $20. It holds about 2 full charges for your phone, and that way you can charge your phone on the go when it's about to die. With all the videos and pictures you're taking, especially at a Disney park, I recommend getting an external charger. The next item I'd like to share with you is my trip journal. I got my dad to pick me this one up in Walt Disney World last time he was there in March. Just because I wanted a Disney-themed journal, but of course you can choose whichever one you'd like. I like to document my trip as best I can anyways, because my memory is quite awful, so that's why I like trip journals. I also do write down all my trip information here, like my flight information, what I'd like to do while I'm there, must-dos. I do like to write down like all my dining reservations in here, park hours, that kind of thing. Try to be as organized as possible. I also picked up these Tsum Tsum stickers from our local dollar store. There's nothing really too much to these. I just really like Tsum Tsum, so I thought it would be fun to buy these, decorate my journal with them. In terms of a trip bag to bring into the parks with you, you want something that's not too bulky, it won't be too heavy. So I went with a drawstring bag this time, and I got a tiny bit creative with it. So I went on Amazon and found a drawstring bag that had like little rubber ducks on it. And for anyone who doesn't know, Donald Duck is my absolute favorite character, so I just jazzed it up a bit. So it says Donald Duck is #1 on it. And then my dad also picked me up this little Ratatouille pin. Well, he was in Walt Disney World as well, so I put that on my bag. Ratatouille is absolutely massive in Disneyland Paris. They have a whole section of the Studios park dedicated to it, so I thought I'd put that on there. You don't want to get too carried away with what you put in the bag, but again, I'm going to be putting my external charger, my journal, I'm going to have my little zippy bag with my money in it, and also bring a rain poncho. That's one thing I can definitely recommend, is a rain poncho, because Disney Parks likes to charge a lot of money for a rain poncho when you can just go to your local dollar store and buy one for $1 to $2. In terms of dining reservations, I didn't actually make that many. Like I mentioned previously, I did book Buffalo Bill's Wild West show with my package, and I did also call at the 60-day mark to book Bistro Chez Remy's and Auberge. I definitely recommend calling in advance for those restaurants because they are very popular, and if you wait too long, you will not get a spot. So again, I definitely recommend calling in advance for those types of dining reservations. I will put the phone number in the description. I obviously don't have it on hand, but again, I'll put it in the description. Booking your dining reservations for Disneyland Paris is most definitely different than Walt Disney World. For Walt Disney World, it's 180 days in advance if you're staying on property, where you can book for your entire trip. But for Disneyland Paris, it's only 60 days in advance, and it's to the day. You can't call 60 days before your trip starts and book your dining reservations for the whole trip. It's per day, if that makes sense. So what I did was I waited 60 days until the last day of my trip to call, so I didn't have to call each day and book some reservations. But again, I only booked the 2 restaurants and I didn't have any issues. There are a ton of restaurants to try in Disneyland Paris that you don't even need reservations for, so I thought I'd go over the ones that I plan to eat at with you. So the first day I get there, I do plan on eating at Earl's Sandwich for lunch. That is definitely a must-do. I tried Earl's Sandwich for the first time when I was in Florida last summer, and it was delicious, so I'm excited to go back there. And then I decided to try Lucky Nugget dinner for dinner. It's almost like a sit-down restaurant, but it is considered a quick service, and I definitely am excited to try that. Lucky Nugget Dinner is almost like a barbecue-styled restaurant, so I thought I'd mention that. The next day, I am spending my morning in the studios, which, to my research, does not have a lot of, like, quick service type lunches that I'd honestly be interested in, so I just jotted down Blockbuster Cafe, which again, the menu doesn't look super fantastic. They just have, like, sandwiches and stuff, but I thought that I could possibly grab, like, a quick salad or something from that location if I do get hungry. And that night is when I have Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, which starts at 6:30. Definitely recommend getting there an hour early, as they do have a pre-show, and then you can get a pretty good seat. The next day, I'm going to be trying Annette's Diner, which is an old school diner. The servers are on rollerblades, super fun environment, and I love burgers. Who doesn't love burgers? So I gotta try that. It's in the Disney Village. And then for dinner, I thought that I would try Fuente del Oro. Hopefully I'm not butchering that. It looks like they have a lot of like Mexican styled food, like fajitas, so I'm super excited to try that. The next day I have a lunch reservation at Auberge, and then for dinner, I thought I would try Bella Not, which serves a lot of pasta, and your girl loves pasta. The next day is my birthday, and the restaurant I chose for that is Bistro Chez Remy. So I have a lunch reservation there, and then for dinner, I thought I'd hit a Casey's Corner, which is the hot dog stand on Main Street. And you cannot go to Disney Park without having Casey's Corner at least once. That's just my opinion. And then my last full day at the park, for lunch I chose Hakuna Matata, and for dinner I chose Cafe Hyperion. So I tried to choose a good variety of restaurants that they offer. The Disneyland Paris website shows all the restaurants they have in both parks, Disneyland Park and the studios, and they do show the menus for all the restaurants, so that's definitely a good resource for you to do some research to see where you'd like to go and eat on your vacation. They definitely have a lot of fine dining options available. I was going between Auberge and Waltz for quite some time. I did end up going with Auberge, which is a tiny bit more money, but it's also a character dining experience where you get to meet at least 4 characters. So I thought that I'd rather go with that because even though it's a little bit more expensive, you do get that character interaction and you don't have to wait in line for those meet and greets. I'll give it to Disneyland Paris for having a wide variety of options. I definitely don't think they're lacking in that department, and they also have a lot of healthy options, so I wouldn't be too worried about that either. One thing that I found a little strange about planning this trip, to be honest, is that they don't have the online Fast Pass system, which I did get used to with planning trips to Walt Disney World. So they do still run on the paper Fast Pass system, so there's no way to pre-book your Fast Passes until the day of. So that definitely threw a curveball into my plans. The one saving grace for me is that a lot of the popular rides at Disneyland Paris have single rider lines, and as a solo traveler, this definitely works for me. And all the must-do attractions and experiences that they do offer at Disneyland Paris, I did write down in my trip journal to remind me to get them done before the end of my trip. Some of the must-dos for me while in Disneyland Paris are Big Thunder Mountain, also the Hyperspace Mountain, which is for some reason closed the entire week I'm there except the first day I get there. So I must do that ride the first day I get there, obviously, no matter what the wait time is. But I could probably get a fast pass for that, for example, go do some stuff and then come back to it. So I'm not too worried about that. And the one thing I am most excited about is Mickey and the Magician. I have seen snippets of it and it looks absolutely outstanding. One tip I did see online about it is to arrive about 30 to 45 minutes early just to ensure that you could get a good seat, I apologize, because it is one of the most popular things at Disneyland Paris at this moment. I do like to have some kind of light outline of what I'm going to be doing that day or what park I'm going to anyways. For the most part, I've split them into halves, but spending most of my time in the Disneyland Paris park. One tip I can give is to not overplan, because at that point you're not really enjoying yourself. You want to allow some wiggle room to just enjoy yourself, walk around. You know, you see a ride you want to go on it. You know, you see a food stand, you want to get some popcorn, get some popcorn. You don't want to overmanage your plans to the point where you can't just simply enjoy your surroundings. Another useful tip I can give for any type of Disney trip, whether it be to Disneyland Paris or Walt Disney World, is to watch some Disney hauls, which is basically videos where people show what they bought. So I recommend watching those because you can create some kind of budget line so you have an idea of how much money to bring. Now, on the other side of that, I wouldn't limit the money you bring specifically to what you see in these videos, because trust me, you will see something in the parks that you want that you did not see in the video, so you should allow some wiggle room for spending money for those items as well. But as some kind of general idea of how much money you should bring with you, again, I would definitely recommend watching those haul videos. A popular thing to do at Walt Disney World is hotel hopping, which you can still do in Disneyland Paris, and I definitely plan to do, at least for the hotels that are close to me. So I'm staying at Sequoia Lodge, and I plan on hotel hopping over to Newport Bay and New York just to check out, you know, the lobby and the gift shops. And I also plan definitely to go into the Disneyland Hotel, which is the arc that you walk through to get into the Disneyland park itself. So to go in there, check out the gift shop, the lobby, the ambiance, definitely a good idea, and that doesn't really cost you any money. So that's definitely another good tip to, you know, just enjoy your surroundings and do some hotel hopping and just take a look around and enjoy yourself. So I think that's all I really have to say about my trip, really, my booking and preparation process, what I've done to get ready, and what I plan to do while I'm there. But if you have any questions at all about my upcoming trip to Disneyland Paris, go ahead and comment down below and I'll be sure to answer you. And again, for dining reservations, I'll find the number and put it in the description below, and also link the Disneyland Paris website itself, as like I said, it's a great resource for dining options and their menus, so I definitely check that out. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening to me ramble about my upcoming trip to Disneyland Paris. I definitely appreciate it. Make sure to leave a like, a comment, say hello down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!